channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. Will Victor Wembanyama be able to stand up to the pace of play and make it through the season? Again, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, the realest sports YouTuber out there talking about the NBA, but these are facts, folks. I don't know if he can do that. I just don't know if he's going to be able to stand the rigors of doing that. I don't know why nobody else is saying that. You know, I say a lot of stuff on my channel that everybody else just waits for Mazza to give them the cue. It's not like that on this channel. We say the obvious, we tell the obvious, we think the obvious because we live in reality on this channel, unlike other channels who needs the cue from Mazza, right? And you guys know what I'm talking about. If you've been on my channel, we done predicted a lot of stuff. And it's not like these guys don't know what's going on. Like they don't know the deal. Like they don't know the situation that I'm talking about when I say things that I say on my channel. It's just that they're so wrapped up, involved in trying to get these paychecks from YouTube that they actually need Mazza to give them the cue to say these type of things, right? Look, this is what I'm gonna say. If they want to win a championship, because this pace of play ain't gonna change. If you look at it, it's like the 60s pace of play. Okay, the Boston Celtics in the 60s, they won all these championships because it was fast pace of play, period. But they were number one pace of play team, period. But overall in the league. But the thing is, they were the number one defense. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to run you to death even faster than the pace of play was back in the 60s, but at the same time stop you. It's weird, right? So they want to hurry up and score on you and make you come down with the ball, but defend you and stop you from getting your points. And that's what they did to their opponents. It's a hell of a strategy, and goodness God. I mean, well, people like to say, oh, they have better nutrition. Well, we got better nutrition now. No, we don't. Actually, we got worse nutrition now than at any other time on this planet. Well, this is the worst, but the 2000s was pretty bad. The 90s, the 80s was pretty bad. Nutrition in the United States didn't start getting bad until the 80s when we start going in a box and bag food. And eating food out of factories. That's when the food started getting bad, because they start stripping the vitamins and the minerals out of the food to put in chemicals so it would last on the shelf, right? Not to mention other stuff. Of course, they want you sick. They all work together, right? The food industry and the medical industry, they all work together with Big Pharma. So they want you and need you sick. So if you go to other countries, you know, well, let's just say third world countries, most of the people are shining. The women look good. You know, you see more skinny men and stuff like that. It's an embarrassment when you melanated women in poor countries or women of color, period. It's no comparison to the women of color in the United States. It's just no comparison. Women of color in the United States, they don't even. It's night and day. When you go to, you know, Africa, when you go to, you know, the Latin countries, the island countries, the women there, wow. The women there are, wow, you can't even believe it. The women here, the black women here, it don't even look like their bodies get to develop as black women, as children. They don't have any bodies. I'm not lying. Black women here mostly don't even have any bodies no more. But whatever, man. It's weird. Like, first time I started going to, you know, these countries, I was blown away. I couldn't even believe it. And it kind of looked like when I was growing up, man, the women I grew up around, they had hair. the women in my family had hair. It was just like shameful for you even to have fake hair back in the day, because the only women who had fake hair was your grandmother, who could no longer grow hair no more because she was old. That's only people who wear fake hair. There was no weave, there was no yaki, there was none of that trash. And if you did see anybody under 50 wear fake hair, it might have been like for an event or something like that, special occasion, but it wasn't like something on a regular basis for somebody under 50 years old. You know, black women, they actually took pride in their hair. It didn't matter if it came down below their ears, down to their shoulder or down their back. They knew how to style it. It's just weird when you see now black women with no hair and they're wearing fake hair, and by the time they're, I don't know, 30 years old, I won't even say 30, by the time they're 25 years old, they're bald because they don't put in all these lace fronts, chemicals, sew-ins, all this stuff, saying they hate themselves. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. It's weird, man. It's the weirdest thing you ever seen. So, you know what makes it even worse that I don't like is the women who put the fake hair in a child's hair when they're like freaking 4 years old on the rest of their life. 4 years old until the rest of their life. Because they too lazy to do their children hair. They was too lazy to do their own hair. And they too cheap to go to the salon and keep their hair up. So they put in all this fake stuff. Whatever, man. I don't even know how we even got into this. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, the nutrition. Yeah, also, if you have bad nutrition, that will stop your hair from growing. Yep, that's why you can go to, you type up 1800s, black women in 1800s, early 1900s, they have hair and long hair. Because the nutrition was different, folks. The nutrition was, so if you just eat sugar and all these type of, bad oils and canola oil and what's it called? Crisco oil, all this bad stuff, and it's going into your blood, your pores, all this high fructose corn syrup, all this stuff, your hair ain't going to be good. You're going to have bad hair. That's just how it is. Anyway, let's get off this subject. So, we was talking about nutrition because, they always say, oh, we got better nutrition today. No, we don't. And I know what we're talking about the athletes, something like that. But in fact, I don't even think they're even telling you about the nutrition that you can really take. Just like naturally, to be on a whole different level physically, to be an athlete. A lot of people think about, they need all these steroids, they need all this, and they need all this, all this nonsense that we've been told to have muscles, to have strength, to be, quick, to be. You don't need all that stuff, man. All that stuff is trash, especially when you're young. I was building big muscles when I was young, taking no protein shakes, taking no antibiotic steroids, taking nothing. And I still got big muscles since I've been on this keto. I go keto, carnivore sometimes, whatever. And then I go, I can go vegetarian, whatever like that. But you can still get big muscles. Yeah, you're not going to get bodybuilder muscle. Who the hell wants to be that big in the first place? We're sold that lie. We're going to get that big. And then when you get so big, you're like, you can't get no bigger. And then you want to go to the next level. So the next level, you already know it's going to be juicing up in some type of way. And when you do all that stuff and what do you call it? When you digest all that stuff, not just, steroids and everything else, man, you shaking your body to the core, your liver, your kidneys, your brain, everything. So the biggest you really want to get is, not those Mr. Olympia guys or nothing like that, because they had to do a lot of stuff just to get that big. They taking, you want to get as big as, say maybe them guys that be in Olympia, that be in the shorts, but they still be big. What they call them, like I forget what they call them. Is it the swimsuit models or something like that? But yeah, man, these dudes are racked and cut. They ain't hardly got no legs. I mean, they ain't got skinny legs, but they got decent legs, big chest, big shoulders, big biceps, triceps, and abs like hell. That's how you want to look. That big monster leg stuff is ridiculous, and anything bigger than that is just stupid. And most of it's gonna go away as soon as you stop taking all that stuff. That's the thing about it. You really didn't earn none of that muscle. If you're juicing up and you're taking all that stuff, you really didn't earn none of that muscle. So as soon as you stop taking all that stuff, you're gonna deflate. It's not gonna look good. And sometimes you'll deflate and it'll turn into like fat or something like that. It'll look silly. Okay, so anyways, the nutrition back then was better. As far as the natural nutrition, that's why those guys were able to keep that pace of play. Everything wasn't, the food wasn't full of sugar. It wasn't full of these all these different oils that's bad for you. You know, that Crisco oil, that canola oil, all these different bad oils, and all the food wasn't full of carbs, refined carbs. You guys know what I mean. It was natural back in the day. You could eat this food. You could eat bread. It ain't gonna make you fat. The rice wasn't refined and bad for you. These guys were just eating natural stuff and being basketball players. That's all it was. It was. So the nutrition was actually better back then. It's not better now. It's not. And they probably knew about herbs and stuff like that. That's what I was trying to say earlier. There's all kind of herbs you can take, man, on a daily basis to make your body, not only to heal your body, but make you feel, superhuman. Yeah, but people ain't here to tell you about that, folks. They're not here to tell you because they're here to sell you chemicals and get you sick. So Victor Wembanyama, I don't know if they try to do something like the Boston Celtics. That will be something. Keep the pace of play fast. But I don't know if they had the defenders for that. That's the problem. This is the problem for the NBA. Victor Wembanyama, yes, he can be that driving force. The defender, yes. Also, one other thing is, too, that when we talk about the Boston Celtics, they all played a role. Right? And that's why they were able to dominate. And as you're going to see, this Bill Russell series, I don't know. Hopefully it's going to be over on Sunday or before. I don't know. Maybe Saturday. I don't know. But that'll be my last video, period. And what I ran into, it was devastating that I didn't even think about this thing right here that really puts the icing on the cake right here. What I ran into about the Boston Celtics. And to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Bill Russell did that. I think I done did 3 parts, right? And this next part will be the icing on the cake. And for me, Bill Russell, he's gonna drop out my top 20 after this. He really is, because this latest information that I found out. Look, Bill Russell didn't do anything wrong. That's the problem with people. They think I'm, picking on Bill Russell like he did something wrong, or the Boston Celtics did something wrong, or something like. No, it's nothing like that. Bill Russell is an all-time great at his position, all-time great. He did nothing wrong. The problem is that it was a team game, folks. And as we've seen on part 1, part 2, and part 3, especially on part 2, that Bill Russell, the part we're talking about the MVPs, Bill Russell was giving those MVPs. He didn't earn those MVPs because it was a team game. Bill Russell was giving those MVPs for his civil rights movement. That's it. And this is really going to prove to you what I'm talking about on, I think we're on 4? Part 4, the one that's coming up, is really going to prove to you. I don't know how none of them else did prove to you. I don't know why. Did you watch them? Hopefully you watched them, because they've been getting shadow banned. But anyways, yeah, part 4 is really going to prove to you, without a shadow of a doubt, that not only was it a team game, and Bill Russell didn't deserve those, 4, probably 5 MVPs. We only went over 4 of them. But look, I ain't got no problem for him to get 1, whatever. But this part 4 is really going to set it off, man. And to me, this just proves my whole point overall. I mean, it's going to be devastating. Devastating. Especially to the so-called stat geeks that keep Bill Russell in the top 5 and this and that and this. It's going to be devastating. And you can take this to Jim and see what he says about it. He can't dispute this, folks. What's coming up in part 4? It's going to be devastating. Devastating. And to me, it takes... I already have pushed him out of my top 10 with these 3 episodes. But 4 is going to push him out of my top 20. It's crazy. It's going to be... When you see this, it's going to be insane. So make sure you stay alert, hit the notification bell. Remember, I never say that. That's what all these other dudes do for money, right? And YouTube is good at not notifying my subs. They don't. And you got to remember, most of your subs are bots. Everybody's channel. So what they'll do is they won't even notify those bots. I got my regular guys that come to my channel all the time because they love my content. But you got to remember, most of your subs are bots, and they give you bots depending on YouTube based on how you're playing their game and certain things you say. So if you don't conform with the norm and the rest of the sheep, those bots that they gave you for subs, they're not going to notify them, which means you're not going to get the views. Which I don't care. I'm not in it for the views. A lot of guys are in it for money and views. And they'll say, I'm not in it for the money. They're all in it for the money, guys. Haven't made one penny, not monetized. If somebody says that, tell them to demonetize themselves. And they won't. I mean, look, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be making money for your time or, anything like that. But I'm just saying, nobody can say they're not doing it for the money. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because if you say that, demonetize yourself. You could say that in your mind, or you could feel that way, but don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. Put your feet to the fire and demonetize yourself. Demonetize yourself. Other than that, you're just shooting the shit. Because lately, everybody been in the whirlwind about their views and making money and stuff like that. It just shows everybody in it for the money. Nobody's getting the views like they used to because all these NBA players done jumped in on it. And you got these fake LeBron James fans who ain't even LeBron James fans who done jumped in on it to lie and try to make money, because YouTube is going to be quick to pat you on the back if you become a fake LeBron James supporter. Right? So yeah, look for that. I want to put it out today. It's gonna be tough, man. If not tomorrow, you gotta just drop Bill Russell out of my top 20, man. Probably top 25. And like I said, it's nothing against him. The same criteria that we put everybody else on the scale for: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic, Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody in that top 10, top 20, Larry Bird and Tim Duncan, everybody. We put them on the same scale, but when it comes to Bill Russell, he's excluded because he has 11 championships in, I think, 13 seasons. But we done broke it down why he has 11 championships in 13 seasons. And the breakdown reveals that he was just a part of a team that won 13 championships. He was not a two-way player. He wasn't an all-around player. Like, it was, literally, guys, it's guys on his team who are top 75 players who are two-way players or all-around players. Just on his team in those 13 seasons. I'm not trying to say he's overrated. He's not overrated. He's people are overrating him and putting him in a stratosphere where he don't. And I didn't even know this stuff, folks, until I went back and I did the homework. And the same thing that we grade all other great players on: the Wills, the Shaqs, the Birds, the Magics, the Kareems, the Jordans. You name it. The LeBron James, everything we grade these guys on. Bill Russell does not make the grade, folks. He don't come out on top. And when we dig into the research, he's excluded from that stuff that we grade these other guys on. If you watch part 1 and you watch part 2 and you watch part 3, to me, part 4 is devastating. That's going to come out. It's devastating. And that, like I said, that might be my last video because I won't have nothing else to prove. And again, it's not proven that he's overrated. He did something wrong, or he wasn't an all-time great player. No, it proves that he's being overrated by other people. The NBA done told people to put this guy where he don't belong. And trust me, I was one of them people. I was I was just doing the go along, get along game. That's what I was doing. I didn't really investigate this. You know how when we go back and we look at LeBron James, and we was able to go back and look at his career, and the more we looked into it, it got worse. And the more we looked into Michael Jordan's career, the more it got freakier. It got better. Well, the more I looked into Bill Russell's career, what would I say? I don't know. It didn't get worse. It didn't get better. It's just the fact that people are overrating him. He got the most, put it this way, if you see my video, this guy has played with the most help of any superstar player in the top 10, the top 20, the top 30. And guess what? He doubled what any other great player played with. Double the help. Of his era, he played with the greatest offensive players and the greatest defensive players. So yes, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Bob Pettit, and Wilt Chamberlain. Did I say Oscar Robertson? Yes, they were great, two-way players, all-around players. He didn't play with them, but after them, he had everybody else on his team. You guys are going to see in part 2. Part 4. This last part, man. I thought the all NBAs were just too much for me. Him playing with 29 all NBA selections. Well, the Boston Celtics had 29 all NBA selections from 57 all the way until 69. That was mind-blowing. And you take Bill Russell away and say he played with 25 teammates who made the All NBA in that time, from 57 all the way until no, I don't know, it might have been more, but I think it was from 57 all the way until 69. He played with 25 All NBA selection teammates. Just mind blowing. Just mind-blowing. He played with, from when we did the Wilt situation, and this is going to get worse on part 4. This is going to be, wow. Well, just on the All-NBA, from when Wilt came in the league, and he played from 60 to 69. We know he played longer, but from 60 to 69, Bill Russell, his team, the Boston Celtics, had 14 All-NBA selections from 60 to 65. Wilt's team only had 6, and it was only him. Let me tell you something, man. They got Wilt. When you punch up Wilt's, he played with top 75 players. How many top 75 players did Wilt play with? They had the nerve to put, I think, like 2 guys on top 75 that Wilt played with, but didn't make one All-NBA team. How the hell is that possible? You didn't make one All-NBA team, and they put these guys in the top 75. One of the guys, they're trying to say that he played with, that's a top 75, he only played with him for 3 years. Another guy, he only played with them for like 1 year. And he didn't make one All-NBA team. These people are very confused, man. Anyways, let me get off of here, man. Yeah, look for that part 4. It's going to be devastating. I'm done. I just can't do it. When you see what's coming up in part 4. As far as, Victor Wembanyama, I thought about it, man, but, this pace of play is so fast because also, let's remember, they changed the rule. You can't touch somebody on the hand now, so these guys really ain't playing defense. You're not contesting the defender. Everything is like, lagging off now probably, or they're getting the shot off more easily now. So it's going to be easier to score, whether it's going to the paint or shooting outside. The NBA is an embarrassment, man. An embarrassment. They might as well just tell the defense not to even come to the other side of the court and play defense, and let the offense just shoot layups. The skill level in the game is so bad, folks. They have to do this. ESPN was talking about, well, like yesterday or the day before, oh, the NBA is off to a fire pace or something like that. No shit. The league is getting worse. Anybody can play in this NBA. Anybody can referee in this NBA. The NBA is a joke. Whatever punchline you want to come up with, bring it. The NBA is a joke. Michael Jordan basically wasted his time coming back to the NBA. And look at Giannis. He done ducked. He's sitting out already. So that's all I got to say, man.